Hello, welcome to OMAT. Glad you're here. We're going to get into our 8 exercises in just a moment. First, I have a question for you. If I tell you to be mindful of the couch on the way out, what's going to happen? You might notice on your way out, or take time to notice the couch on your way out, when you might not have if I didn't say it. What does be mindful of the couch mean? Why did I ask you to do that? Could be because it's watch out for the couch. You might stub your toe if you're not paying attention. Or watch for the couch because I think it's really pretty and comfortable and I think you might appreciate it. That's all I think people mean when they say be mindful of your life, of your day-to-day. It means that when you're eating, be mindful that you're eating. Pay attention to it. That's all that means. When you're walking, look around, notice something. And that's the entire thing. You don't have to do anything about it. That's all of mindfulness, the entire practice. Well, let's get into these exercises because these are the exercises that help me be more mindful. And I think that in general, they help people notice just a little bit more. Now, what do you do with that? No worries about that. Right now, being mindful, that's it. Let's get into our daily practice. The first one is gratitude. Now we're being mindful of what we can be grateful for. It's a practice so that we can have it out in the world. Let's see what we could find when we look for gratitude in this minute. Let's wrap the thought for now. Find the water. And we are noticing. We took that entire minute to notice what we could be grateful for. We are already living a slightly more mindful life. We're noticing. Now we're going to notice maybe our breath. And here's what we're doing. We're picking up these tools so that we can have control over what is allowed to constantly be in our mind. There are some thoughts that we don't need to go through yet again. Here's our time right now to interrupt that thought or thoughts. Pause. Tell yourself you could think about it later and think about something else right now, something more neutral. Maybe follow your breath. Sit in any comfortable position, eyes opened or closed, and breathe. As we come back, let's find our water. And maybe as you become more mindful, as you notice more, you might notice you get a little anxious during meditation. That happens. You don't have to do anything about the things that you notice. We're practicing noticing, and as we practice, we'll be able to notice more options, more choices, and that gives us more freedom and more control over what's happening in our mind. So again, that's the entire practice, noticing. Let's notice what happens when we look to write something down. What comes out? And again, we don't have to do anything about it. So keep that in mind. Just because you write something doesn't mean something has to happen from it or to it. Let's see what happens when we write freely right now. Let's wrap the sentence or thought for now. Find the water. You don't have to notice what you wrote down means, but you can notice that you wrote or that you didn't write. And then we can move on. We can go into our yoga. You might notice, I don't want to do yoga right now. Okay, way to notice. Let's get into it though. Now doing it from a seated position, a standing position, either one. If you could stand, let's stand. Let's get into it. Inhaling the arms out and up. Notice how your body feels as you inhale deeper and deeper, looking up. And then exhale, fold forward, hang over your feet. Notice what it feels like on your back, knees bent. When you're ready, halfway lift. Flatten the back, straighten out the legs, look up. And let's meet in a high plank. Plant your palms down, step your feet back. Hold it for a moment so you can notice how strong you are before you lower all the way down. Once your whole body is on the ground, your feet are pointed. Push your palms, your chest will come up, head is coming up, look up. We're going to meet in down dog. Hips up, upside down V with your body. And trying to get the heels as close to or on the ground. And walk your feet forward towards your hands. Start rolling up. Meet your palms above your head and exhale your hands down between your chest. And hold it for a moment. Or hold another pose for a moment. Find your water. Notice what yoga feels like. Sometimes it feels, wow, see? It takes a little bit to even notice. To me, it feels like my body is longer. It undoes what sitting and laying down does. That's what it feels like to me. What do you notice it does for you? You don't have to do anything about it. Let's keep going. Let's get into our plank. First, we get into our plank mind. What do we notice we need to think about before we get into this plank pose? It might need to stop thinking. Let's stop thinking. Let's get in the physical ready position. And we won't think about it before we go up in 3, 2, 1. And suddenly we're in plank pose. Why? Because that's what we're doing right now. Let's get into that pose just for this minute, this challenging minute. And we're in for 10 seconds. If you haven't started yet, it's not too late. It's never too late. If you can hear my voice, now's the time. And you're in for 20 seconds. As it gets more challenging, see if you can get a little more relaxed with it. Let it become a part of your mind and body right now for 30 seconds. What does that mean? It means maybe you're following your breath. Maybe you're shaking a little bit. If you're not hurting yourself, maybe you can keep going for 20 more seconds. If you decided it's not a good time and you are hurting yourself, you came down off your plank, take a deep breath. See if you could join for the final 10 seconds here, because we know every second counts. Let's work body and mind together as strong as possible for right now for 3, 2, 1, and you're done. Take some time, come down off your plank. Maybe stretch your way back. Make movements that you think are silly, but somehow work for your body to undo that challenge, to come down off of that pose. Move slowly so you hurt yourself less. And have some water. And have a lot of credit. You're still working, still moving, still doing it. Let's keep going. Wherever you are in your practice, wherever you are in your procrastination, let's work on it for the next minute. What can you do? Well, for an entire minute, you can figure out, what can I do? What is the smallest task? How can I get ready? Let's see what comes out when we're looking for a small task so that it's manageable to do right now. Let's wrap for now. Finding our water. Looking at that minute like it was an experiment. Why? Because results from an experiment can vary, and that's good news because we can't always predict what's going to happen. Look at it like an experiment, only to learn and keep going. Let's go into our connection minute. There's a very vulnerable minute where we mentally look through our Rolodex and think, who can I get in touch with? What does that mean when I get in touch? Or just picking something, somebody very lightly. I'm thinking about you. You came to mind. Let's see what happens when we put ourselves in that space to look for connection, and try right now. Let's wrap the sentence or thought for now. Even if we couldn't hit send, even if we couldn't figure out who we could even think about, it's fine. We still did the work. That muscle was warmed up. We can have some water and we can move on. We can go into our final exercise. Now, did all those other exercises not go exactly the way you were hoping? That's how this one's going to go. Isn't that great? Let's just move our body. Let's do it because we have access to that movement. We want to hold on to it. We want to work it out. Let's work. In 3, 2, 1. Move your body. That is what we're doing right now. Let's do what we promised. We're going to try to do all the exercises. And this is the last one. And you're 10 seconds in already. Now, I know some of these movements can be challenging right from the beginning. Let's make sure we're breathing anyway. That's 20 seconds in. As it gets more and more challenging, find a little more energy, a little more from your mind and your body so we can keep going for 30 more seconds. What do you have in you? Let's find out today, just for now, what you could bring for 20 more seconds of this exercise. We're almost at the countdown. Hold steady if you can. Again, make sure you're breathing for 10 more seconds. How can we finish this as strong as our body and mind will allow us? What does that look like today? For 3, 2, 1, and you're done. There it is, all 8 exercises. Congratulations. How does that feel? Thanks for taking OMAT today.